make that little X on the top of the egg, and then just bring your line all the way from top to bottom, like so, and do that. You'll get 4, let's see, the stripes, you'll get 4 8 sections on an egg going around in the stripes. And then I turned it sideways, and by just eyeballing it, I started in the middle of the egg and edged me a block all the way around. And I did that until I got the checks. So I done some in stripes and some in checks. Then I put some polka dots. I put white ones on this one, and in between my checks here, I put gold polka dots. And that's all I'm going to do, really. I'm going to varnish them, and then they'll be real pretty and shiny, but that's all I'm going to do to them. And these are wood. I've had these for a long time. And the wood ones are more expensive. You can get the little ones that are, I don't know if they're resin or what they are, the real small ones. Somebody one time sent me of them. At Easter, they was a dozen in an egg carton, just like buying eggs. But they were to paint on like you'd do for Easter eggs. But I don't know. I've not bought any in years. I had these in my stock, and I happened to find them the other day when I was looking for something, and I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and paint up some of these. So I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 10. I did 5 of each one, 10 of here, sitting here this afternoon. I did 10 of them in a little bit of no time. And I put the mulberry paper. This has got mulberry paper on it, done the white with the gold in it, and that is no longer available on Mulberry Paper and More. They no longer have the one with the gold in it up on their site. So I don't know if they're not going to have it, if it's just out of it, or you're going to be able to get it. Because I've had a couple of people contact me and say, well, I can't find the gold. So I went in there and looked, because you go looking for Uriah, U-R-A-I, I think it is, Uriah paper, when you go in there. And when I went back in there to look, I didn't find any with the gold on it. So I didn't find any with gold or silver. So that must not be available to them. Okay. Okay, girls, we got any questions before we get at it here? Let me see now. I knocked myself down there. Comments will appear here, and they're not appearing there. See if it shows. Maybe I can keep up with it. Okay, let's get a move on this. Let's get here. We've lost some of them already. Okay, girls, I've just put a coat of that mulberry paper on these, and I'm going to use this. Okay, that my phone is now talking to me instead of phooey. That just drives me nuts. No questions. Okay. Maybe it'll go on. Okay. I've got a napkin here. This is half of it. And this is very simple, because what we're going to do is put this napkin, the way this one's made, it just kind of fades into that paper, you know, fades into this mulberry paper really, really well. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to work my way around. Now I'm probably going to have to, I can get 2 sections on there, and then I'm going to have to cut the napkin, because I want it to be right at the edge of the paper, edge of the jar. So I'm going to do it in, let's see, I'm going to tear my napkin right here where the seam is at. And I'm going to take a water pen and do that. I haven't separated the napkin yet. Okay, I'm going to take a water pen and go down through here and take this napkin apart. I'm just using some water on my brush. We're still waiting on a baby. Miranda's been miserable this week. I'm on a live, honey. What you want?
I was wondering if me and Maddie can take your car to take that mirror to a friend's house that's like 15 minutes away.
Where are you going? Where is that?
Past Bucky's that way, just a little bit, to get the mirror.
On the main road? You going to get it or to take it to somebody?
Take it.
Take it to somebody? You're giving it to somebody? Yeah, just tell her to be extra careful in my van, Morgan.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Mama.
Be sure and tell her to start it and let it warm up. Okay. Don't want to go down the road, and our roads are still, we still got snow on the ground. Okay, I'm going to take the bottom of that out. I don't know where these napkins come from, but I'm sure probably if you go on Etsy and put in poppy napkins, there'll be some come up if there is any available, which there may be, there may not be. These napkins, I haven't bought napkins in a long time. Okay, I don't want any straight edges except at the bottom, so I'm going to take this little edge off too. You see me and Teresa talking about the flooding a while ago. She's from up in the area. In fact, she and I grew up, we raised our kids, we were neighbors. She was a neighbor of mine. We lived in West Virginia. They grew up right there where we lived. And so she's up, but she lives up in the Beckley, West Virginia area now. But it's horrible up there. It's pitiful. It's cold and wet, and it's snowed on top of the flooding. Now they've got snow, and it's one mess. And it's all into Kentucky and Virginia, all the way over into Hurley, Virginia, and all in there. It's all in the southern part where Kentucky and West Virginia and Virginia all meets in that little area. It's all over there. And it's all, my nephew, I've told you before, they work up there with an organization that helps the needy all the time, and they've been working round the clock. And they've had trucks coming in. A crew came in yesterday that are called, they got horses, mule train, called the mule train. And they were men who brought their horses, and they each had 2 horses, rode one and one behind them. And they hauled supplies into the areas where the people can't get out. Bridges are washed out, roads are washed out. It's just, it's horrible. So they were hauling stuff in on their horses, which was an amazing thing to see. And they've had, of course, the Billy Graham organization they landed in Williamson yesterday or day before yesterday to assess the, need down there. That's in Kentucky, Pikeville, Kentucky, and in that area. But it is disastrous. My family was very lucky. My brother has a business there, and he got water in one end of his building. About 1 inch of water was all. You saw the mule train? Yeah. They have organizations. They've got crews coming in. They've got people who have machines, big dozers and stuff. They have to rebuild roads. We had one there in McDowell County. A man and woman and a baby got washed down the river. He was trying to get out, and I think they were an elderly couple, so they must have had their grandchildren. They had a baby, like a 2-year-old, and then they had 2 older girls in the truck with them. And he was driving, trying to get out of town, and it washed him into the Tug River. Their vehicle got washed right out into the river. And the wife, and the baby was found, and the two girls survived. They was able to get them out of the water. But it's just, they've had 10 or 12 deaths that they know of in the area. But, they could be more. You never hardly ever know that. Hey, Bonnie. Okay, I've just put me a little bit of glue on there to begin with, and I've got one thing of my napkin here. And I'm going to start right at the bottom, right where it meets the bottom. Now I got to get me a piece of saran wrap. Miranda goes to the doctor tomorrow, and she's hoping they'll put her in the hospital tomorrow. But as of last week, the baby's not in the right position. He's feet first, so he can't be born that way, so they have to wait and see now if he's going to turn on his own, or whether they're going to have to turn him, or do a C-section. So I'm hoping that he's turned by tomorrow, when she goes in tomorrow, that he's turned around and where he should be. Okay, now this is a little tricky right here. I'm going to have to cut into that because I've got, it's smaller at the bottom. The vase is smaller, goes up larger. Oh, you took a little nap. I do that every day, Bonnie. And I'm going to cut into this right here. And see, I may have to cut that whole thing. I'm going to have to tear that and just go lap that over because it's got to come out of there to make it fit good. Okay, I'm going to get this side right here on first, and then we'll work it around through there in pieces. Okay, so I've got one on there, and she is miserable. She's so big now, and she quit work because her work is a good hour and a half from the hospital. So they didn't, she didn't want to go into labor at work because she drives herself to work, and the doctors didn't want her to either. She works in the dental office. They said, nope, we're sending you home because we don't want you to go into labor here in the office, because they couldn't get her out and they don't want to deliver a baby. Just very lightly. Now, napkins are real thin and, delicate, so you have to be real careful when you're putting your top coat of Mod Podge on there, because they'll rip real easy on you. You'll have a hole in there, okay? Now, I got that one section on there, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to come right up here with this piece and join it right in there. Let it overlap just a touch. Got to take it down to the bottom. Overlap it there just enough to make it not have a hole in it there. If it does, I have to touch it up with a little piece of napkin or some paint. Okay, just a tad underneath it. This is a real fast project too. It won't take us long to do this one. Okay. Hey, Debbie. Using that mulberry paper too has been real easy to blend that into the mulberry paper. Printing it on the mulberry paper is easy to hide. That's the best thing ever was. I like that better than I like the rice paper. I haven't printed anything on rice paper now for weeks. That piece I done this week, that tray, I gave you all a picture today of a thing like that you can use on a tray. I think it was pink flowers, but it fit on that tray so good, and it just faded right into the background. Okay, now I've got to let that dry. See, we've got one side all the way. See, we're from here going right on around. Now I'm ready to go around to another section. Get me another piece of napkin here. Got to be careful not to get your hands in it. So I'm going to have to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to have to cut into it. So I've got one there. I'm going to split it right back about the middle. Debbie, I just told them we're waiting. She goes to the doctor tomorrow, and she's hoping they'll go ahead and put her in the hospital tomorrow. She's wore out. I mean, she's had it. And but the only thing is, he's not turned in the right direction. So she had real problems when she had Peyton. And I was there when Peyton was born. I hated it. And looking back now, should have made the doctor do something. I mean, they literally straddled her chest. A nurse got up on her chest with the nurse's butt in her face and pushed on her stomach to get Peyton out. They had fooled around and waited too long to take her in for a C-section, and it was awful. There was a team of doctors in that room. We had 6 or 7 nurses and doctors in the room when Peyton was born. Because she was in labor for like 15, 18 hours. It was awful. So I'm hoping this time they know what they're doing, and they don't let her do that. they'll either it'll work, or they'll do a C-section. I'm having trouble getting that napkin apart. Well, take a little bit of my glue and see if that does it. Can't get my napkin apart. There it is. No, Debbie, my family was lucky. My sister's business, it got up, you know, they thought sure it was coming in. They have a store, and they started moving stuff up from the, you know, getting everything on the floor up higher in the building. You know, they've got a big building, and they started that, but it came right up around the front door, but it didn't come in. And then my brother has a building not too far from them, but his sits right on the creek, but it's up high, and it got up all around it, but it only got in the end of it about an inch. And other than that, the rest of my family lives in locations where it's not, you know, it's hard to get to them, so they were okay. But Keith didn't have enough. He was very thankful that it didn't do, because last time his building almost got destroyed. The water got in it. And he's just now, and that's been 7 or 8 years ago, and he's just now been, the last year, been able to get his, he had to redo all of his electrical system and everything. And he just this summer got new electric and stuff put in there, and then here comes the water again, so. And I still got 2 sheets on that one. I got to tear that one apart. Only one came off. Okay, it'll probably destroy that. Maybe not. But there are so many that lost homes. It's just was up to the thing. There was a Walmart in Williamson, West Virginia, and all you could see was the Walmart sign on the top of the building. Hard to find a place to build. It's not. That's, Debbie, it's true in that area. In that area, you either live on the mountain or you live close to the river, close to the water. It's not a river runs through there where they're at. It's a creek, but it sure can get out. And the last flood they had was the year I left up there. They had one in 2009, about 3 or 4 months after Daryl and I moved to Tennessee. They had a really, really bad one, and that's when it got in their businesses. My older brother had a lumber yard, and they had 2 truckloads of lumber come in that morning, and the water washed it right out that evening, right down the river. 2 loads of lumber went out, and it just, you know, it messed up everything there then. And at my house, it was up there. The water didn't get up in the house, but the mountain behind my house caved. Come off the mountain. The water come off the mountain and flooded down in under my house, and then it pushed part of the mountain off. We had to get machines in there to clean up the dirt and stuff around the house. It's just that everybody, you know, it's in so many areas is what's so sad. All these people that volunteer, the organizations and stuff, I mean, they're overworked this year. It's been everywhere till they're just so overworked that, you know, you can't, it's hard to get anything to understand how they can just keep moving. They move from state to state helping people. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I didn't take the top off of that one either. I'm gabbing too much. Southern West Virginia doesn't have much. You get up in, way up in northern West Virginia, up north, up close, going up toward D.C., and they have lots of flat, you know, flat big areas. But down where I'm from, it's either mountains or you know, riverside. Okay, see how pretty that goes? Just goes right around there, and it just kind of fades into the top. I've got one more side to do on that one. This is going to be a real, my son was born breech. And Jane, did they birth him that way? He came out natural birth and was breech? That's hard. They don't want her to do that. They said if they can't turn him, they will try to turn him, theirself if he doesn't turn on his own. And they don't want to, to let him be born breech. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. I got a new mold in yesterday, the new IOD molds that just came out. There's one, girls, that's going to be fantastic for the Christmas ornaments. Remember how we done the little Christmas ornaments last year? The one, I think I've sold them. Let's see, I got one up here. I'll show you. Remember how I done these last year and put them on the chains? I'll show you this new mold that I got. I got it in today, and it is perfect for Christmas ornaments. It's going to be great. And it's a new spring. IOD just had a new spring line come out. And really, that's about the only one that I was real thrilled with. There's one more that I've got in my cart that I'm thinking about. It's called Blossoms, and I'll probably buy it. But the other ones I wasn't really interested in. But now this one for the ornaments, I can't wait to do. And as far as I'm thinking right now, I may do the show in October and just do a single booth and just do Christmas ornaments and do smalls, not do any thing. If I do Christmas ornaments, then I'm going to need a couple hundred. The mold with the little frames. See, it's kind of got little frames on it. It does, Wanda. See, it's right here. It is. See this? But we will be able to drill if you make them solid. If you pour them solid, you'll be able to drill. Remember last year I showed you how to take those little drill and drill into them. The cherry blossom, Bonnie. I may buy that one, the cherry blossom mold. No, it wasn't a cherry blossom. I believe it might. Yeah, it's the blossom, spring blossom mold. This one is called Vintage Brooches. And these are, see, we can either pour them like this and pour them till they've got both sides, got it on both sides, or we can pour them in one and drill a hole in the top. Put a hole in the top for a ribbon and do them. But I love this one. This one is great. So if you're going to do much, I would buy this one. And I tell you, I usually buy mine on eBay on Etsy, because you can find them free shipping. You can't, if you buy them from most of the other places, the shipping's not free. So most of the time I buy them on the Etsy. I did order I ordered some essential stencils. I haven't got them in yet, of the some pieces to put on stencil pieces. Now I've got to get that to lay up some way without, see if I can put one of them eggs under it and not put it down on the, okay, I don't want it to lay down on the table. Okay. I'm going to have to cut me a little piece out of the napkin that fits right over there on that side to take it on around. Okay. I'm going to pour some of those right away in the resin, so I'll show them to you when I pour them, because I'm going to, if I'm going to do that show, I'm going to go, I'll know by July. I'll decide by the time the July show rolls around, because if I'm going to do it, I'll go in and tell her in July. When the July show hits, I'll go in and tell the lady that runs it that I want to do the October show, and she'll let me pick my booth out of what she's got available. She usually just tells me what sections of the building are available, and I can choose where I want to be. But if I do, I'm going to just do smalls, and I may do some eggs and just Christmas ornaments and small small things that I think will sell. Try not to do nothing over like 20 bucks. Stay with the small items, so got to have a lot of them. I'd like to go in with about $7,000 or $8,000 worth of inventory at least. I definitely don't want to do the whole show. Don't want to go in there for 18 days. So I'll probably just go in for the first week. Okay. Now, we are going around, all the way around, and that little section right in there, I've got to put me a piece in there. But the way this napkin is, you can piece it. You can, piece it together, put little bitty pieces in it. You'll never know that it's been pieced. It's just the way it's made. So I'm going to take this other section of napkin here, take it apart, and get me some little pieces out of it. I got some rose molds from Temu, and I've played with them a little bit. The shallow molds are really hard to, you have to do that clay that's easy. And I like this clay that I've been showing you lately because it's lightweight. I made those Christmas ornaments for, made those big ones with all the roses and stuff on top of them. They were heavy when when you held them up. They were real heavy. Well, now this clay I'm using now, this white clay, is real lightweight. That's a piece I let dry out on me. But it's real lightweight. So when you put it on something, it's just feather light. It don't have no weight to it. And I like that really well. Okay, I'm going to cut me a little piece out of here. See how much I need. I can overlap it a little. My nose is itching. I can overlap it a little if I need to. Let's go right down through here and cut a piece out. This is a good napkin, Bonnie, and I've had it a long time, but I'm almost sure. I haven't looked. I'll look on Etsy and see if I see it, but I'm sure if you go in and do a search for poppy napkins, that if it's still available, it'll show up. See, I've just cut me out a small piece here. And I'm going to put it in right here on this corner. Okay. I'm going to I'll have painting tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to work tomorrow. I've got some housework to do. My house, it needs cleaning bad. When Peyton's around, you have to play with her, and you can't get much done. So if I do things in the house, I can get a few things done, but she keeps you hopping. I need to lay that down, and I don't want to touch the table with it. Okay. I've been trying to work on my Etsy shop. It's not doing nothing. I don't know if people are just not buying. I'm just a here and there thing. I need to get out here in town and see if I can find a store to stock some things in a shop. I just never have looked around here. But now locals around here it's hard to sell things to locals here. Oh, I just ripped that one. See, like I said, it comes out real easy if you're not careful. That napkin comes right out of there. Okay, see, we go all the way around now. See that? Just pieced it right in there. And I've got one little slit to Maria's grandson. 6 years old. I've had a blast with him since birth. That's the way Peyton is. She loves to come over here. She'll call me. She'll say, "Mama, can I come over? Can I come over to your house and stay, Mama?" And she loves Maddie and Morgan. Boy, she got mad at Maddie the other day. I showed you that little video thing. She loves to play with her makeup. But now for some reason, buddy, she didn't like what Maddie done her, and she come back through that house, storming through there. She went to the bathroom to look, and she wiped part of it off, and she come back in there, and she jumped right down Maddie. She was just having a fit, buddy. "You just made a mess, and I don't even have my lipstick on," she said. I'm going to take me a little tiny piece out of here, because I've got one little slit there that needs a little tiny piece. She'll go to school this fall. She talks. I told her they'll have trouble with her is getting her to shut up. Because, I mean, to be quiet in school, that's going to be a big thing for her, because she loves to talk. And she talks to everybody. When I took her to see Santa Claus, she talked and she talked and she talked. And they let her stay for a long time for the simple fact they didn't have other kids there waiting to get in, so he didn't rush her. So she just stood there and she talked to him for the longest time. Well, got to get that in there. Little teeny tiny piece. Just have to piece it right up there because I had a little hole there. She had a fit. She was just, and then after I put it on there, I thought, well, people might think that's not very good to show her having a temper tantrum. Okay. Now see, there's not much else we have to do to that. We're going to put take the toothbrush and put some color around the top and put some gold up here around the top, around the main top, and we got that one done. This is a tray. I did this one, or I got this one ready. See, this one I covered with mulberry paper too today. I've got a bunch of these. I got these at I think it was Home Goods had them one time, and I ordered them, and I ordered a bunch of them, and I still got some of them. I've got 2 or 3. I'm trying to take the tag off of that one. Don't have no price on it. Just got the company name. I'll just take a razor blade. I'm just going to go ahead and, while this one's drying, I'm going to go ahead and show you this other one too. Because see, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Can't fool with it till that dries because the napkin will rip on us. So I've got this one. See, I printed this on mulberry paper. Printed this design, and it fits perfectly. I printed it to do that. I made it, had to stretch it out a little bit, and redesign it just a little bit to get it in that in my space here. But I covered this one with the same white paper, and I printed this one on the mulberry paper, and I'm going to take my wet pen and go around this one and get it out and put it on this tray. Get rid of some of these eggs up here. She's really glad the new baby's coming. She keeps something to hurry. Okay, I've just put me some water on there and just going to rip out around the edges of that so we won't have any harsh lines on it. Now this don't rip quite as easy as the napkins does, but you can rip it out there. So you just make it jagged along the edges. Okay, and we'll come down the sides. The same thing on the sides. Oh. That one print I gave you all today is like I used on that round tray, and I just printed it out in full size like this, and then I tore around it and I just put it on a white background, and it faded right into that white background really, really good. I may resin that tray. I haven't done it yet, but I may go ahead and put resin on it. Peyton likes to play cards. She loves to bake. She likes to make cookies. She wants to make cookies all the time, and we have to play cards or play games, or and sometimes I'll say, Peyton, I need to work a little while, and she'll say, Mama, why do you work? Why do you work, Mama? Just what do you have to do? She'll say. Okay, I ripped it out. I like that, and it's just really monotone, is that what you call it? Colors, just black and white. I like that too. It's black and white with some brown in it, and I'm going to put that right in that tray. Just let it kind of fit in there. I'm going to cut right around the edges here where it touches over. I'm going to tear that a little bit so that it doesn't touch. So right here, I need to tear off a little bit. Right around that, I need to take a little bit off right up here at the top. Sometimes you'll get a little snag in this paper where you cannot, those threads are so thick and you cannot get them out, pull them out. So you need to clip them to get them off, because sometimes the threads running through it are just really, really strong in some places. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, I'm ready to put it in there. We have been down in single digits. We've not hit singles yet, Peggy. We've been down, I think it got down to 16 once, but we've not been in the singles yet. But now today, it didn't get out of the 20s today, even in the day. And we're supposed to have rain and snow mixed by Saturday morning. So we've got another wave of it coming through. And the kids has not been, even Maddie's not been to school. The teacher that teaches at the college where she goes is teaching their class. She sent them a video, the thing this morning, telling them not to come in today. They did online classes today, and she had snow a foot up over her front door. There's like 8 or 10 inches right in the front door. Missouri was 8. Ooh. I'm thankful, you know, even no farther than I am from West Virginia. It's only about 200 miles home to West Virginia. The temperature is so different. Just this much farther south is so different than it was in West Virginia, because we'd have real cold up there. It sure is havoc on your electric bill. My electric bill was $460 this past month, and usually I'm about $250 in the wintertime. It's between $250 and $300 in the winter. And my house is not big, you know, it's small, so, but it was $460 I paid this month. West Virginia has horrible electric things. They have $700, $800, $900 electric bills up there. My sister has a big house, and which pretty good sized house, but still her electric bill will run about $800 in the wintertime. And that's hard on people, you know, on the older people who live on a fixed income, to all of us and get a $500, $600, $700, $800 electric bill. You all been out all week, Teresa? Ours have missed, they just missed 2 days. Yeah, I know up there at Hanover sometimes we'd be out a week or longer at a time. They don't really miss a whole lot down here, so sometimes they just take off. If the weather says we're going to get some bad weather tomorrow, they shut it down. I think they just want to take a day off. They don't even wait for it to come in. Oh, that's pretty. See how pretty that is? It's real pretty. Good burning fireplace insert. Geothermal furnace. That's good, Debbie. We had a wood burning stove. We had a fireplace when we lived in West Virginia, but we never did use it. My mom had used it when she was living and had an insert in it, but Daryl and I never did. After we moved in her house, we never did use the fireplace, but we built a big family room, and we put used a wood burning stove in there, and it sure made a difference. Now, one winter, our electric, we had a horrible winter. Daryl was off from work one winter. They had a layoff, and he and a friend went to Alabama. Our friend had some family in Alabama that needed some work done on some kind of oil rig or something. I can't remember what it was, but him and Daryl went to Alabama to work for the winter. And boy, we had the weather hit bad that year, and me and Joe was home. Stacy was already in Tennessee, so Joe was in high school. And it come a big storm, and it stayed up like 8 or 9 days. And we had, electric went off and everything. Had we not had that wood stove, we'd have froze to death. You know, you couldn't get out, you couldn't do nothing. So we would have times like that. See how pretty? That is really pretty. Now it's got these little fine lines. Can you see those little lines running right up through there? I'm going to take them right on out the end. I'm going to get me some paint. And they are kind of a gray color. So I'm going to take some black and white, kind of mix it on my liner brush, and just extend those out to make the pattern come on out to where it's at the end of the tray. So I'm going to get me a striper, a long liner, and I'm going to, as soon as I can find one here. Okay, come on now, there it is. Look here, I got some brushes in. Look how long that one is. That one's probably Look at that. It's 2 inches long. I've never used one that long. Probably won't. That's a really long one. I like the one that's about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to put a little water on my brush. I'm going to take it through the white first, through my white paint. Then I'm going to move over and take a touch of my black and mix those two together, and I'll get a gray. A little water on my brush makes my paint just about like ink. To pull that out of there. Then I'm just going to go in here, and these lines are kind of hit and miss, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, just kind of hit and miss and pull them on out. Some of them are darker than the others, so the next time I pick up a little more black than I did the gray. Just little straight lines. Pulled them right out on the end out through here. I'll do the same way on the other end. The thing here is, if the kids in the mountains can't get out, we have such higher mountains here, and those roads get blocked really fast with the weather. So if they can't get out, if one part of the county can't get out to school, then the whole county's off. So that puts our kids out sometime when they can have a good time. They don't have no bad weather or nothing down here in the valley, but the mountain kids do. So they'll be off a day. Okay, now, see that? Now on those ends, I'm going to take my little sponge brush, and I'm going to carry me out some colors there, just a touch. There's a little bit of kind of like a tannish brown. I'm going to get me a little bit of brown and take my sponge brush. Ooh, I picked up gold. Take my sponge brush, and I'm going to dab a little bit of colors out through there just to carry that out too, because I don't want it to end there in a line. So I've got a sponge brush. I'll take a sponge, just one of these little sponge brushes, and I'm going to put me just a little bit of the medium, glazing medium on it. And I'm going to dab it in there a little bit. Pick up one color, the white, and then a little touch of that brown, and kind of mix them together to get a little bit of color there. More white than anything. And that's not my right color. Okay, I need something in that. That's not the right color to put on there. So I'm going to go back with the white and dab that right off of there. That didn't match my color good. So now I've got to play with it again. Let's see what I got here. Let's go. It's a little bit more, got a little bit more red. Let's try a little bit of this. This is, mix a little bit of this cranberry wine. Is that? You make it seem easy, but you have an excellent eye for colors. Debbie, you just have to play with them. You just have to play with them, and sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. I added a little bit of a dark red to that, to the white and the brown, and a little bit of that dark red. Now let's see what I get here. Well, I'll just go back in here and cover up some of these that's already here and make them work. Then just take my finger and dab them in there a little bit. So instead of trying to get those to match out perfectly, I'm going to move some of mine into the middle, some of my color in here, and cover some of those up so that they do match better. Just gets a little color. I'll make them work. And I'm just using my fingers, and I'm tapping kind of hard because I want that to go right down in that paper. So I just went all the way around with a little bit of that other color because I couldn't match it to the T of what was on there, so I just changed those a little bit. And I put a little bit all over it, so like it was meant to be there. That's the way the pattern was. Okay, see that? See, I just added these colors in here, and I just went right down in here and added me some all around to get them, just so it looks like it's carried out and was supposed to be in there. That is really pretty. And I think I've got some black beading. I will, let me put that in the water. I'll take my toothbrush and I'll go over this one. And I think I will use that dark burgundy that I just got out to go with that. See where my palette knife's at. Let's see what we get when I mix that. Yep. I'm putting it mostly where those edges are at, so we just hide the edges completely. Okay, now, see how pretty that is? That is really pretty. I like that black and white. Okay. Now, let's see if I've got some black beads. See what kind of beads I've got. I don't know if I got any black ones or not. I've got pearls. No, I've got some rhinestones that are, this is silver around the edges, so I may use those. I've got a few black ones, but they're not enough of them. Okay, I could use that silver. Okay, I can put this in there and it be silver. Put that in. Or I can put these around the edges. See these? So let's take these out and see what they look like. This is the Paper Studio beads that have the sticky back on them. So I think these will work. I think I can go a whole row. See, I hope I got enough. I like these because they just stick right on. And if you want to resin it, you can go right over top of these. Okay, yep, I like that. See that? Put that bead in there. That is pretty. Okay. Now let's go down the other side and hope I got enough. If I don't, I'll end up having to buy some more before I can finish it. Around to this side. Okay, better turn it around. I don't think I'm going to have enough. Let me see if I got another pack of this. I bet I don't. I'll have to wait and go into Hobby Lobby and see if I can. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Got one more pack, thank goodness. Okay, let's get this one on then. Okay, I need 1, 2. That I need to about right there. Just cut it where you need it to be, and then you can just put them right on. Okay, you got that side on. Go ahead and get this other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just got to get the ends now. One more. I'll have to open that other package of beads for 3 or 4 beads. Yep. I need just 3 or 4 more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That stuff is real sticky. It's aggravating to put down. Okay, I got 1 too many. Okay, that is pretty. Look. Isn't that pretty? That is gorgeous. I like that. See how pretty that is? Looks really good, and it's just real good. Now this was a mirrored. This one was mirrored. I might have some of these, girls. I'll see what I've got and what I've written. And if you want one, I'll sell you one. Because I have a bunch of them, but I'm not sure what sizes. I do this size, and I've got this size over here. And I've got some of these too. I'll have to look and see how many I've got. I've got 2 of these, 2 sizes of these 2. I'll see how many I got and how much. If I can find out what I paid for them, I'll sell them to you for whatever I got in them. I got another one around here. I found this one a couple of weeks ago, and I think I got it. It says genuine crystal. I think it come from TJ Maxx, but look at it. It's got pearls all the way around it. That's a beautiful one. This was from Ross. It's got the ticket on it. It's from Ross's, and it was $10. And it's beautiful, but that'll be real pretty with some roses or something on the inside of it. In fact, I thought when I made it, I thought that blue, see how pretty that blue would be down in that with the beads on. Put those blue flowers down in there on that one. I think I got a bigger one. I've got 2 sizes, so I've got one, and down under there I've got one a little bit bigger than that one. Okay, that's another project. Let's go back to the base and get it finished. It should be dry now. Okay, now I'm going to take my toothbrush to this one too, And I'm going to go pretty heavy up around, just up in here. I don't need to do anything else to the flowers. That's the good thing. You don't have to do nothing else to these flowers. They're all pretty, and see, they just fade right up into the background. Looks like a cloud in behind there. Looks just like, the cloud makes it sink right in there. So I'm going to go right up here, and I'm going to take the toothbrush and put it in there quite heavy, and then I'm going to take some gold around the top. And I'm going to go back to that burgundy again. This was a flower vase because it come from a flower shop that delivered flowers to somewhere, because it had flowers on the bottom. Had one of those stickers that they use when they buy them for flower vases. Put a little water in that paint to thin it down a little bit, because it should be just about like ink. Then I'll take my toothbrush, and like I said, I want this to cover. I don't want that white to show, so I'm going to put it on there quite heavy, just around the top of it, not going down into my rubies, into my poppies. See there, I put it on there quite heavy. And when I varnish it, I put glitter on it. So we killed 2 birds with 1 stone today. I still have, mulberry paper is one of my favorites. When I first started, I discovered mulberry paper just about the first 6 months I started doing decoupage. I don't remember how I found out about it or what, who it was. I don't remember none of that, but I do know it became a favorite of mine then, and I've used a lot of it. And I used a lot of the orange color at Halloween. I don't much anymore, because the thing, the styles change. So the things I done then, all the bottles and stuff is not as popular as it was then. Okay, see that? I've put that on there quite heavy to get it on there. And you could just put a battery candle down in this one, or you could put a set of those fairy lights. Now I'm going to use my gold around the top. I've got that white on there, so I'm just going to use this Empress Gold in the Deco Art. Yeah, this is Deco Art's Dazzling Metallics, and it's Empress Gold. This is one of my favorite golds to use, and I'm just going to paint it around that top edge. There's a little ledge up here. Right here is a little ledge, so I'm going to go around that ledge and paint that. And I may have to put 2 coats on there. And I did cover the paper all the way up. I'm painting over top of the paper. I didn't want to have to, if I'd have left the glass up there, I would have had to paint that glass white. And I didn't want to do that. So I took the paper all the way up to the top edge, and then I sanded it off with my sandpaper around the, where it goes down on the inside. If I can locate this napkin, I'll give you a link to it. I'll see tonight or in the morning when I'm sitting at the computer. I'll see if I can locate these napkins, and I'll tell you where. I'm going to go right on around again, just to darken it a little bit in some spots. You could just take a set of the fairy lights and drop it right down in this. You could also put it in there, put the lights in it, and then put your flowers in it. Make it into a flower vase, not live flowers, but artificial. Put your artificial arrangement in it and put the lights down in the bottom of it, and you'll be able to see that through with the flowers in there. See how pretty that is? Okay. I like that. I like it. So we got two good ones tonight. Two good pieces. I'm going to do another auction at the end of the month, girls. Probably sometime the end of next week. I'm not going to do it on Sunday this time. I'm going to do it maybe on a Friday night. Oh, those of you that come in later, I did these little legs. I showed you these little legs I've been painting on today. And that's a little egg. These are little tiny egg holders. I've got to paint them. Some of them I'm going to put on the holder, and some of them I'm just going to put them in a little bowl. I'll probably put them in a little bowl and just sell the little, paint a little bowl and put them in there and sell them together, the bowl and that. And I'll pour some of those ornament things, some of that other mold I showed you, I'll pour some of them this week like I did these and see how they turn out. If they turn out good like that, you won't have to. You can put a chain in it like I did these, put the beads in the top of them. Or you can pour them in one sections, one piece, and drill a hole in the top of them for a ribbon. Okay? Okay. These two are ready to, both are ready for the varnish tomorrow. Or I probably won't work tomorrow. I'll probably take the day off tomorrow. Or take a day off from painting. I'll work. It just won't be in the shop. Okay? So we got two. We got two here. We got this one. And we got this one done tonight. So we got two of them. So that, I love this. That is so pretty. And you could use this any colors, any bedroom, any colors you got in your house. You could use this because it's black and white. Okay? So that's, I'll check on these trays and let you know if I've got any more of them and how much they are. See if you want one of them.